from Body Fit by Amy, and this is your beginner kettlebell instructional workout. So in this workout, I'm gonna break down the kettlebell moves, take it a little bit slower, a little more instruction, but you'll still get a good workout. So if you've never worked with a kettlebell before, this is a great workout to start off with before you move on to some other workouts. So obviously, all you need for this workout is a kettlebell. Today, I'll be using my 10-pound kettlebell. A lot of my other videos, you see me with an 18 or a 25, but we're gonna take it a little bit lighter today. You'll probably notice that I am currently about 8 months pregnant. So this workout is okay to do if you are pregnant, as long as you have been cleared by a doctor and you're monitoring your intensity levels. So listen to your body. If you need a break, take a break. Okay, so before we start with a little warm up, go ahead and grab your kettlebell. I'm gonna review a couple quick positioning things. So a lot of times we'll have the kettlebell in what we call the dead position, and that's when we're down in front. So it's sort of the beginning of our swing, our deadlift, bending at the back, out in front. We're not here, we're not rounding in the back. Our chest is lifted, our knees slightly bent, we're ready to go. You'll also hear me talk about how holding the kettlebells by the horns, right? So that's usually chest level. Sometimes we're a little higher, taking it over our head by the horns, but we're grabbing right on those sides. Kettlebells is down and close to your body. So not out here, not letting the weight bring us forward, we're here. And the other thing you'll hear me say for this workout is the racked position. So racked, you're bringing it up here. So kettlebell is on the outside. Your hand is right in the center. We're not here. We're not letting it bend at the wrist. We're straight, so you may even have to bring your hand up a little bit more. That way the pressure's not on the wrist. And then our thumb is sort of right next to our collarbone right here. So we're on the inside. So if you think that your fist is underneath your chin and your thumb is right by your collarbone, that's your racked position. And we take that sometimes up into the press, or down, or sometimes in a curl. So those are some basics. There are some other positioning things that we'll get into in other workouts, but for today, that's what we're gonna start off with. So go ahead and drop your kettlebell down to the side, somewhere where you're not gonna trip on it, out of the way, and we're just gonna get a little bit of a warm up. So go ahead and start marching. We'll roll through those shoulders. So really important, obviously, to always warm up. But especially with the kettlebell, when we get into those swings, we wanna make sure that our back is warm, big deep breath in, our shoulders, our hips are open, everything is ready to go. And let's go one more right here. And then let's take our arms out wide, and we're gonna go flat back down. So flat down, and then round it on your way up. So take your time, flat and up. Couple more just like this. And the last one right here. And then let's hold underneath. So our knees are wide. We're rolling our shoulders forward and back. Just for 2. And breathe. One more each way. And then let's walk our feet in, round it up. And let's do some little reaches across. So I do this a lot in warm-ups because we really reach long through those fingertips. Everything gets moving. Everything stretches out. Let's take it over our head. Here. And then let's take some little hamstring curls to the back. Flex the foot, bring it up. Opening up those hips and hip flexors. And then to the front, bring the knees up. So again, opening up the knees this way and the hips. And the last thing, we're gonna do little toy soldier kicks. So reach long in front, stretch out. This might be hard to do. It is for me because I don't have a lot of space there, but we're swinging our arms and breathe and relax. Okay, so you should feel nice and warm and loose. Let's go ahead and reach down and grab our kettlebell. Bend your knees to do it. We never want to bend from the back. We wanna make sure we bend our knees to pick up the kettlebell or any weights. So we're actually gonna start with it low. So kettlebell right in the center, toes are forward, and we're just gonna start with our regular squat. So kettlebell low, right in front, just sit low in the squat, press up through the heels. So everything looks like your normal squat. Sit low, press up. Notice that I'm making sure my eyes and my chest stay up. What we don't want to do is round in the back. When the weight is below us, we want to make sure that we're keeping everything lifted. Drive through those heels, press it up, getting as low as you can. Imagine that you're sitting in a chair. So the chair is behind you, pushing your butt back, sit low. Watch how my knees stay right above my ankles. And let's go 2 more. Breathe. And last one. Go ahead, so tap it out. And then let's go ahead and grab that kettlebell by the horns like we were talking about. So my elbows are in, shoulder blades are back, and we're just gonna do a regular bicep curl. So it looks like this. I'm going down, and then I'm pulling the top of the kettlebell up to my chest. So my elbows stay in place. I'm not moving this way. I'm keeping it here to here. So we're gonna review the kettlebell this way. So if you have a heavier kettlebell or this feels heavy for you, then you're gonna feel this pretty quickly. We're keeping it here. Sometimes we add what we call a crush curl, where we're pushing in on the kettlebell. You don't have to do that, but just so you're informed. Breathe. So this first round, we're gonna do it with the kettlebell between 2 hands. The second time, I'm gonna show you an option. Maybe you have a lighter, a 5 or an 8-pound kettlebell, an option to do it with 1. Let's go 1 more. Good, and relax and let it drop down. Shake out those arms. So let's take it to a press. So we're here, holding by the horns again, and with 2 hands, our press looks like this. We're just straight up, straight down, up and down. What I wanna watch for, you're gonna feel that upper back and a little bit of your lower back supporting. What we wanna watch for is that we don't lean into it or arch that back. So a good way is sometimes we can take 1 foot back and just press and down. If you have a heavier kettlebell, like sometimes I'm using my 18 or my 25, you can shorten that range of motion if you need to. If you feel like at the top, you're really leaning, just keep it smaller. And we'll go 1 more. And relax. Good, guys. That was great. So we'll tap it out. We're gonna come back to that in a minute. Next, we're gonna learn the windmills. So let's say I'm gonna put the kettlebell in my right hand. So I'm gonna turn my right toe out, and I'm gonna have the right kettlebell sort of on the inside of my knee. So I'm gonna show you again with the kettlebell low, and then when we come back to it, I'll give you an option of taking it high. But I always like to show people with it low first because it can get a little heavy up top when we have that kettlebell up above our head. So starting with this, kettlebell on the inside of the knee, right toe is turned out, left hand is straight up. I'm gonna bend down to the side. My left hand, I'm looking up at the hand, and then as I push up, I'm pushing through that left foot. So I'm going down and up. So my knees aren't locked out. I can keep a little slight bend, but what I'm not doing is bending as I go down. So it's not here, it's not a squat. My legs stay as straight as I can without locking, and then we're going here. So we're working all through that oblique. If this feels like too much for your back, you can drop that kettlebell and just do the motion. Think of that hand staying as close to that leg as you can. Last 2, and 1 more, and relax. So we love that exercise. Feels a little bit like a stretch going down, but really targets those obliques. So let's do the same thing on that other side. So left toe turned out this time, left hand on the inside of that knee, so your palm is facing out, right hand up. As I come up, I'm pushing through that right leg, take it down, and then straight up. So we're here, and up. And breathe, and again, you can always do it without the kettlebell. That's gonna help you get a feel for the motion, a little bit more like a stretch. Last 3, 2, 1 more, and relax. Doing great, guys. So let's go back to that squat. So this time, let's try the squat with our hands holding the kettlebell by the horns, so at the chest. So roll those shoulders back, making sure that we're not letting our back roll forward. squat it down, press it up. So just like before, I'm just holding it at a different angle. So as you can tell, holding it here, your heart rate gets up more, my back is more engaged, my arms are working the whole time, so everything's working a little bit harder. If that feels like too much for you today, feel free to take it back down to that low position. It's totally up to you. Press through those heels. If we can, hold it here. And breathe. And we'll go 2 more. Last one. And relax. Okay. So back to that curl and that press. If you remember before, we did it with 2 hands. So we did curl this way, and then we did the press this way. Totally fine, you can keep it there. If you have a heavier kettlebell, if you want a different option, maybe you have a lighter kettlebell, let's go to that racked position. So my hand goes through, my thumb is next to my collarbone, and my fist is beneath my chin. So curling, I'm dropping it down, curling it up. So you are gonna feel it's gonna hit your wrists a little bit. That might be uncomfortable for you. That's okay. You can always take it back to the 2 hands. If you've got lighter, you wanna go here, and let's just go 4, and bring it up, 3. Ooh, a little tougher this way, right? 2. Again, you can always go with the 2 hands. Good. So let's keep it on that same side if you can. And then maybe getting a little tired, and let's go to that press. So with our press, again, starting in that racked position, I'm gonna extend it straight up and bring it down. So I'm rotating it out. Palm goes forward, palm goes into the chest. Up, we won't do as many here. I know it's heavy. And breathe. And let's get 1 more. And up, and relax. Good, guys. So take a break, whichever way you were doing it, and either switch to that other hand or go back to the 2 if that feels better. If you're going one-handed, racked position, thumb next to the collarbone, fist underneath the chin, and hand all the way through so we're not broken wrist. And let's start with our curl. So we're down, curl it up. So again, the belt part is going to move. So that's okay. As long as that feels okay. I know it's banging a little bit on your wrist. But if you don't like that, just take it back to the 2-handed. Totally fine. Abs in tight. Curl. 3. And there's lots of variations on the curls that you'll see in other videos. 1 more. And let's keep it in that rack position. You know your arm's getting a little tired. And let's take it above the head into a press. So starting racked, extend it up, and drop it down. So later videos, you'll learn to clean and press. It's a little different movement, but it's kind of part of it. Last one. And breathe. Good, good. Shake those arms out, right? A little bit tired. Drop that kettlebell down. Everybody grab a sip of water, and then we're gonna go into some lunges. So, again, we're taking it a little bit slower than some of the other videos where we put some things together. Quite often we do a squat and a curl or a lunge and a row. Today we're kind of breaking everything down individually so you know what you're doing. So next we're gonna go into a lunge. So let's turn to the side. Let's put the right leg forward, left leg back. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the kettlebell in my left hand. So nice and wide. What you're gonna find with the kettlebell, it's gonna pull your weight a little bit to the side. So we really wanna stabilize with those abs. You're gonna feel really wide when you're in this opening stance, but then we're just gonna drop the back knee, think 90 degrees with both legs. If you need more instruction, you can see my how to do a lunge video, which will really break it down. And if you need more balance, you can take that opposite hand and just grab onto a chair or the wall or the back of the couch. Just keep breathing so you can feel that pull a little bit to the side. Try to stabilize, keep those shoulder blades back and chest up. Let's go 2 more, driving through that front heel. And 1 more. Perfect, guys. So shake that out. We're gonna keep that right leg forward, and now we're gonna switch gears and take it to a row. So right leg forward, left leg back. You're not in a lunge position, but knees are soft. I'm gonna drop in my chest, so my back stays flat. I'm gonna let that kettlebell down to the side and then pull it up in a row. So you'll feel, if you're used to doing rows with a dumbbell, you'll feel the difference. You feel that weight hanging a little bit lower to stabilize a little bit more. And again, in later videos, I love to put the lunge and the row together. Knees are soft, back is flat, really making sure we're not here, guys. Keep that chest up. And we'll go 2 more. And last one. And tap it out. Good. So let's get all of that on the other side. So we're gonna turn it around. This time the left foot is forward. Kettlebell is in the right hand. Nice and wide with your stance. Good form here. Lunge it down. Here we go. And breathe. Just drop that back knee. Driving through the front heel. Good posture. 90 degrees in both of the legs. Again, the weight's gonna pull you a little bit to that side that has the kettlebell. So use those abs to stabilize. 2 more right here. And last one. There we go. So shake those legs out into our row position. So left leg stays forward, right leg back, knees are soft, flat back down, kettlebell down by the side, row it up, elbow up, let it drop all the way down and stretch. Up and down. Breathe. Go, squeeze in the back, and then let it stretch. The rows are so great to really strengthen those muscles along our spine, our posture muscles. Last 2. 1 more. Good work, bring it all the way up. So again, in later videos, we love to put those together. Okay, so as promised, we're gonna go back to the windmill. I'm gonna show you a different option. So please only try this if you have one of the lighter kettlebells or it's light for you. So the traditional windmill, everything we talked about before, except, so if we had the right toe out, we would take it up in the left, start in your rack position, and then extend it all the way up. And then we'd be going down the side of our legs with the kettlebell high. Start in this position, get a feel for this. If that feels like too much, maybe you feel that pull on your shoulder or pull on your back, then take it right back down, switch your hands and do exactly what we just did. But if you wanna try it and you have the lighter kettlebell, maybe a 5 or an 8, or if a 10's light for you, you can try it here. The trick is we wanna keep this straight the whole time. So my hand's going down the side of my knee, and I'm still pushing into that opposite leg. So I'm just gonna show you a couple, and then I'm actually gonna drop it down just for me, but it's up to you. You can either have the kettlebell here, or if you want, drop it down to that other side and here. Let's get 2 more. It's up to you. I'm just being a little safe on my abs right now in pregnancy, and relax. Good work, you guys. So let's do the same thing other side. So if that felt okay, you didn't feel your back too much, go ahead and grab that kettlebell, start in your rack position, extend it all the way up. Left toe is out this time. You're dropping it down low, then push up through that opposite foot. Keep it as straight as you can and keep your eyes on it the whole time. So you guys keep going. I'm gonna drop mine down. Up to you. If you have the kettlebell high, or if you have it low in this hand, either one is fine. Let's go 2 more. Breathe. Last one. And relax. So that's just a different option. That's your traditional kettlebell. I just often do it low, especially if you have something heavier or you're learning. So feel free to keep it low as long as you need to as you build up that core strength and back strength. Okay, so moving on. Go ahead and grab that kettlebell in the center. We are going to talk about the swings. So we're not going to do very many. I also have an instructional video on the channel, how to do a kettlebell swing that breaks it down if you want to just look at the swing. But we're going to start with a little bit of a deadlift. So roll those shoulders back. Your kettlebell is going to be right between the knees, and we want to keep it kind of close. So if you've done a deadlift before with dumbbells or a bar, you know we want to do a soft bend in the knees and then bring it up. So this is the start of your swing. So we're always going to start with this. This is your prep work. So see how my hips are driving back, squeeze it up, drop it down. So bending a little bit more in the knees. This is not your kettlebell swing motion, but this is sort of the beginning of it. The biggest mistake we see in swings is people want to do a squat, and that's not your motion. Here, all the way up, squeeze it out of top. Last one. So let's go ahead and drop our kettlebell down in front, and let's review the swing motion. So we're going to drive our hips back. So we're here, so you're starting in that deadlift motion, in that dead position that we talked about. And what we're gonna do is, I always like to prep it. So imagine you're hiking a football, try to get those forearms touching the inside of your legs, shoulder blades are back. You're gonna hike the football with a kettlebell a couple times, maybe 3, and then we're gonna power up with the hips. So this is sort of our middle position. So I'm locked out. I know we rarely tell you to lock out in fitness, but we do in the kettlebell swing. Lock out in the legs, the glutes, the back, the upper back, and the abs. So everything's tight. Your kettlebell goes about chest level. We're not gonna go over the head. That's sort of an American kettlebell swing or CrossFit thing. I don't think it's safe, especially learning from a video. You would wanna be working with a trainer one-on-one. So I always just go to here, just chest level. This is your traditional Russian kettlebell swing. Then you're gonna react to it, let it drop through the legs, and then power up again. So here's your motion. So I just want you guys to go through this a few times on your own. It's really helpful to try this with a mirror too, to make sure you're not squatting. Our muscle memory wants to do a squat because we do that all the time, but it really is driving through the hips. So kettlebell goes through, hips go back, eyes up, power up, squeeze, lock out, let it drop. And I'm going slow. The motion actually usually goes a little bit quicker because you're reacting to it like you're swinging a pendulum. So we're just here to here. And really focus on your breath too, breathing out at the top. And relax. Okay guys, why don't we try that with the kettlebell? So if anything feels weird to you or too much for your back, drop the kettlebell, just do the motion until you feel comfortable. So feet on either side, kettlebell in the center, bend your knees to get it. Come up in that dead position, hiking like a football, 3, 2, power up with the hips, lock out, let it drop. We're not gonna do very many. Focus on driving the hips back, kettlebell goes through. Make sure you're not doing a squat, not too much. Through, bend through the knees. We'll go 4, squeeze, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And when you relax, always let it swing before you drop it down. So that's really important. So as you'll notice, get your heart rate up pretty quick. So guys, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of times going through it. So don't be discouraged if it feels weird the first couple times. Use the mirror, use this video or my other instructional video. Try it without the kettlebell first. You'll get it, I promise. One more thing while we're catching our breath. Grab your kettlebell and let's go up for triceps. So we're gonna grab it by the horns again. We're gonna put one foot back. We're gonna take the kettlebell over the head. So my elbows are in tight. I'm letting the horns of the kettlebell drop down behind my head. So triceps here. I've got the 1 foot back to make sure that it protects my back. So if you feel okay with a regular stance here, that's fine too. Focus on keeping those elbows in. The heavy part of the bell is up top and working the tri. So you can also do this motion on the mat, which we do in some other videos, but I'm just showing you from here today. And let's go 2 more. Elbows in, just so you learn an overhead tricep with the kettlebell. And relax. Good. Tap it out. We are almost done, guys. Let's go ahead and try that swing one more time. So it's up to you. If you want to just try the motion without the kettlebell, that's fine. If you want to try the swing with the kettlebell, then listen to your body. So feet about shoulder width, a little wider. Roll those shoulders back. Down in that dead position. Eyes up, flat back. Hike it like a football 3 times. Power it up with the hips. Let it drive through. So all the motion is from the hips. Squeeze out at the top. Going about chest level or even a little bit below. It's fine to be a little bit below in the beginning, because that's how you're gonna learn until you can really stabilize. One more. Let it swing at the bottom and relax. And let's just go ahead and let your body hang so you can stretch out the back and hamstrings from that. Good work, guys. That's about all we're gonna do for this video. Again, you can always reference this or my instructional video and take your time learning it. I promise you'll get it, but it is going to take time. Okay, guys, let's try the triceps one last time, and then we're cooling it down and stretching. So grabbing by the horns, one foot back, hands straight up, elbows in, behind the head. Very last thing we're gonna do, and then we'll get a little stretch. So hopefully this workout gave you an idea of just some basic kettlebell moves that we do in the videos, some things you could do on your own or at the gym. Let's go 2 more, elbows in. Really important that we don't get out to the side. Last one, relax. Drop that kettlebell out of your way and just tap it out, guys. Roll through those shoulders. So, just a few of the basics of kettlebell. So many different things you can do, so many ways you can use it. Lots of core things too. Got an 8-minute kettlebell ab workout on the channel. You can try as well. Let's go big, deep breath in. Reach those arms up and down. And one more. Good, so let's take those hands out in front. Stretch through those shoulders. Rounding in the back just a bit, head and neck down. Probably feel a lot of shoulders after the kettlebell, that's normal. Reach those thumbs to the back. And grab behind. Opening it up. And if you're still feeling good, guys, you need more, feel free to start this video over. That's totally fine. Open up those hips. Lean to the side, take one arm across, pull it in, keep pulling in, roll through the wrist. As always, make sure you get more of a stretch on your own if you need it. Hips back, here, roll it through. Kettlebell is definitely something that takes a lot of time to master. I even need help. I gotta work on my form too. Let's take one foot forward, little hamstring stretch, lean back. So, take it slow when you're just beginning. Review your form. Watch your form in a mirror, that's helpful. And the other side. And then from here, just roll up through your back one more time. Reach, and we'll go one big deep breath in and out. And that was your beginner kettlebell workout. Great job, everybody.